Hi, everyone. Welcome to the August Patreon episode where we're going to just talk your ears off per usual. I mean, what else would you expect from us?
The Yapping Queens.
Yep. I feel like that should be our title at this point because we could literally talk forever. We've been already talking for 40 minutes, and we're like, we probably should actually like give this information to you guys and not just like, we should do some of our catch up, on the
Yeah.
actual Patreon episode.
Trying out a new platform. So we're going to see how this goes. Normally we do a Google Meets, just the two of us. And Rosie found, when we were together, we found Riverside. So we're going to see how it goes and let us know your feedback. If the audio is better, like the whole thing, let us know your thoughts because you guys are the ones who matter. So
Yeah. I think it'll be better because it's going to be like easier for you guys to view. It'll be nicer on your eyes. So let us know your
see.
thoughts. Only if they're nice. Just kidding.
But really. Oh,
What have
hello.
you been up to, Brady? Hit us with a little recap. We'll do like a slight end of summer-ish recap, and then we'll get into some fall stuff, transition to the next season.
Well, since we were like our last Patreon video, I've kind of just been sad because we're not together anymore.
That was like a month ago now.
Yeah, which is I still like look back at the content from our time together and just like truly smile. If I'm feeling sad, like I'll just go and rewatch our videos that we made together or just like even just us like hiking, getting coffee, like everything about it was just so much fun. And I'm like I feel like I've been in a slump ever since that. I'm
Yeah.
like now what now we need to plan our next trip.
Well, you've been going through it in general, so I feel like you did leave
Yeah.
here, and then you've been like having quite like the past few weeks for yourself. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you were like kind of just like busy, busy, busy too this summer, like nonstop.
Yeah, and now things are slowing down. So we don't really have much going on right now. We do have a trip coming up September 5th through the 9th. We're going to Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina,
For your birthday too,
Wilmington.
right?
Yeah. We are going to be touring like lots of land that we're looking at to buy because we do want to build. That's like the end goal, but also if there's any like what is it like a pre-existing house?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking
A
at
home that's already there that you could buy.
yeah.
Yeah. Like this thing.
A
Like
house,
this
I
whole
don't know.
thing. A home.
So we have like a list of land and houses that we want to look at while we're there. It's like a birthday trip, but it's also a like we're there to get shit done, like meet with builders, like do the whole thing. So that's exciting. It's something to look forward to. And I just can't believe how fast the month is flying. It's already almost the middle of August, and
Yeah.
that's just insane.
No, it's actually like sick and twisted. Like, why is time moving so fast? Like,
Yeah.
I can't catch up. Like, it's just nonstop. I had a question for you. Have you been to North Carolina before?
I've been to the Outer Banks, which
Okay.
is north, like way north. I've actually never even been to Wrightsville.
Okay.
But I just like I have a gut feeling about it. And if we go there and I hate it, then we'll reevaluate and that's fine. But I've it's somewhere Gavin really loves and we're very similar, so I trust him. But
Yeah.
like I said, we haven't made any major moves yet, like with, buying anything, which I wouldn't do unless we've been there and have seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's exciting and it's something really exciting to look forward to because depending on what route we go, if we build, we're looking at like 9 to 10 months from the day we like sign paperwork. But if we buy, it could be anytime. So
Yeah.
it's
That's
exciting.
so exciting. Like, I feel like, especially, what, you're 26, right? Turning
Mhm.
27?
Yep.
Um, I feel like there's some sort of astrological thing that happens though, like when you're like that age where like you have big life shifts and like you can almost like feel it in your like soul. I remember this feeling of being like, I feel like something big is coming and like something's gonna change in my life. And like that's like a very like normal feeling, I guess, for that age range. And I feel like yeah, you're like about to like make these new moves that you've already like been thinking about, but like you're probably like less than a month out from knowing what you're doing, like where you're gonna move
Yeah.
forward from, which is
It's
cool.
crazy. What was your big shift when you were
Well,
26, 27?
well, I stopped taking on as many weddings. I literally was like, I put my, like, actually started posting on social media. And I remember Ryan even, like, he was like, I feel like there's something here. And I was like, well, we'll have to just see. Like, I'm just gonna, like, try. And if, like, nothing comes from it, like, whatever. And I just was patient with it. And, like, obviously now I'm actually doing it.
I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason at the time it happens. Like
Mhm.
there's this one lot of land that we are absolutely obsessed with and like I said to Gavin I was like if we're meant to have it we'll have it if it sells and it's there's a reason why we didn't get it like there's there's a reason why we're still living where we're living now and like whether we're happy where we're at or not there's a reason why we're still here. I'm just ready for whatever's next whenever it happens, but I'm like chomping at the bit. I'm trying to be
Yeah.
patient.
I would say it's really hard. I feel like when you're like ready for the change and you just have to kind of wait for things to like for time to pass and for things to fall into place. Once you guys are like settled into your home wherever that is, I feel like you and Gavin will probably be like, this just makes so much sense. Like, yeah, like,
Yes,
everything really did like waiting this extra time and whatnot, like it all like works out how it's supposed to.
absolutely. And you guys have dibs on the first guests in the
Yeah.
house.
I
Yeah.
cannot wait. That'll be so much
I
fun.
there's so many like good things happening though. I mean, how are you feeling with when it's August, so Ryan's back to work, and then you're
Mhm.
back doing weddings because I know you always take July off. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I like Ryan went back to work on Friday, so it's only like his second day back. And I like having him home. Like it's just like nice. Like also like he takes care of me. Like I will like neglect myself like all day, like not drinking water or like being like, oh shit, it's like time I need to eat like breakfast and I've been just like working. I just like zone in and like don't think about anything and he like will take care of me and be like, I made you
Aw.
breakfast and like he made sure like your water's full and like, oh, I'll take care of grocery shopping. I'll do all these things for you. So I really like love that in the summertime. And then when he's gone, I'm like, oh shit, I
We
have to take
love
care of
King
myself.
Ryan.
No,
Ryan
Ryan's the
keeping
best.
that is so sweet.
I have one wedding on Friday, which is out of town, which I was going to like be really irresponsible and like drive up the 2.5 hours to the wedding and then drive home after an 8 hour wedding, 2.5 hours. But I decided I'm just gonna stay where I'm like shooting the wedding and not like put myself at risk because it's like through a whole mountain pass. And I'm like, this is probably like really irresponsible of me.
Yeah.
But then after that wedding, I don't have a wedding for like 3 weeks. So
Oh, okay.
trying to like be a little bit more mindful with like how many weddings I book in general. So I only have two weddings this month and then like I only have like 2 shoots a week, but like now with doing like social media and stuff, it's just I have a lot on my plate right now, but
You do. Oh my gosh, yeah. Balance. I mean, trying to get on Rosie's schedule is like very exclusive. Like,
I
she's like, I
hate
have
it.
this date, and this date. And I'm like, la 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 la. I can meet whenever.
Like even one of my friends that's a wedding planner, she was like, "When can we hang out?" She's like, "I could hang out the 27th this month." And I'm like, "I can't hang out that day. I have a wedding or I have a shoot." She's like, "Okay, I guess I'll see you in like September."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I haven't seen her since
Okay.
June. Like it's like impossible to like
Uh,
get. There's just too many things going on. I feel like I actually can balance things pretty well, and
yeah.
I don't break down too often. I think I've only had like a couple times where I've been like, I do also like being solo because I can just take care of myself all day, and I don't have to like think of anyone else but me. Like I do like film more, and I do get more
Yeah.
done when he's not here.
You're really good about filming like with Ryan and around Ryan, so I feel like that's a good thing.
Yeah, because you don't do that, right?
No. And if I have something to film, like I'll send Gavin like to the bedroom. I'm like, turn the fan on, close the door, play TikTok at volume 100. Put your AirPods on, like
Yeah.
just sit there. Well, like I'll vlog with Gavin. Like that's
Yeah.
different. And even that is very new. Like when I like pull my phone out, I'm like, "Hi."
Like
Like
you
don't look at me.
mind?
Don't look at
You guys
me.
have been together for years.
Right. It's just because I have to like say things a few times
Yeah.
sometimes. Like I just forget what I'm saying, or I don't know, I'm just scatterbrained. So I'm like, pretend you didn't hear the first 5 times I just said that exact same sentence. Like I
Yeah.
know they're not judging. Like Gavin doesn't give a shit. Like he's not judging, but it's an us thing when I'm like, let's talk about all the, let's talk about
No. It's
like over and
so
over and over again. And editing, I'm like, shut up.
I wish you Patreon members could see like us editing videos because me and Brady will like send Snapchats of like of us repeating like the same thing over and over and like they're not even like ads like because ads I have to like you have things you have to say but like just me trying to film like what I read in July is like it's so embarrassing to edit because I'm like am I okay like why can't I get my
All
brain to think
the
right.
times when you're always like, this book was about, what the fuck was this book about? Those are my favorite.
I'm like, let me go on Goodreads and be like, oh yeah. And I'm like, I don't even remember. Like, I'm like, what were these characters' names? Like, who is
Right.
this by? I'm like, oh my god, I don't know. We're gonna get into some like fall reads for you guys. I think it'd be fun to even like do another video on like more fall reads, but we're gonna do like our top 5 like fall reads that we'd recommend and like top 5 that we want to read this fall for this video. Because we'll just currently talk about what we are reading or like what we just finished up. You can go first, Brady.
Yeah. I just finished on audio Between Two Kingdoms, and it's about a girl named Suleika, and she is like traveling the world and she's like living her best life in her 20s, and all of a sudden she gets really sick and finds out she has leukemia.
Oh
And
wow.
it's just all about her life being sick and then afterwards. So her life before being sick, during, her illness and like all of the things she's gone through, and then her life afterwards. And it's like a memoir.
Mhm.
So I listened to that because she narrates it, and it was really good. Currently reading our book of the month, The Unmaking of June Farrow, and I am extremely confused.
I need
I
someone to do like to draw it out for me because I'm a little like I'm interested, but like I'm actually really interested, but I'm having a hard time figuring out where everyone is in this timeline,
Yep.
and I'm a
And
little
like the dates are like when they're like, oh, you're like the 1941, but you're the 1951 and it's 2024. And I'm like, but this book was written in 2023. So like the dates are confusing me.
yeah.
The people are confusing me. The fact that like she's married to this guy, but like doesn't know who he is. And like there's two versions of her. I'm like,
Yeah.
is this dark matter? Like, what is going on?
Truly, it's like the path not taken or whatever.
Yeah, I was literally going to text you earlier. I'm on chapter 14.
I think
About
that
to
might be
finish.
where I'm at too.
I like about to finish the reading for this week, but I was about to text you and be like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, am I the only one that is confused?" So let us know if you guys are confused. Like,
Yeah.
if someone can explain it to me, like I'm seven, please. There's so many passages in it that like it'll be like a whole page of them explaining what's going on, and then there's like one paragraph that quickly sums it up. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I reread the paragraph over and over again, and I'm like, I still don't understand, like, what's
Yeah.
going on. Like, I'm so confused. I feel like it is a perfect August read. It's like dipping the toe into the fall vibes, kind of.
Yep. I agree.
Just started reading. I'm like 2 or 3 chapters into All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby, and then I'm also reading on my Kindle The Spy Coast.
Okay, I saw you said it was kind of slow because I have that on
Yeah.
my TBR.
Yeah, it has great ratings. I started reading it because I one time I wasn't home and I only had my Kindle with me and it was the only book I had downloaded, so I like started it. It starts off good and everybody replied to my story that it doesn't get any more like action packed. And for the premise of the book, you would think it's like
Yeah.
it's not. And everybody said that they like had to like bounce back and forth between listening to it and reading it just to kind of push through it.
Dang.
I'm gonna keep going, but we'll see. Yeah, it has 70,000 ratings and a 4.35. I might, at this point, I'd probably give it a 3,
Yeah.
maybe.
Mm. So not great. Like it's
No.
just like kind of like meh.
Yeah, and it has a lot of potential, so, but apparently it doesn't
Get
live
better.
up to that potential.
That's
So,
horrible.
what are you reading?
I just finished This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. I was just telling Brady my thoughts on this book, which I can give you guys a little rundown. I didn't like this book. I'm giving it a 2. I thought it was super stupid. Like I just did not vibe with it at all. Especially like if you've read the book, like the main male character is an oyster shucker, which is fine. I have no issue against I love oysters actually. There was just a lot of like shucking puns. They'd be like saying like fuck, they would say shuck.
Yeah.
And it just like kind of took me away from the story. And I was telling Brady, like, I'm like, why are we just like keeping this big information from like supposedly your best friend? And that's like pretty much you would find that out in like the first chapter is like they're like keeping their relationship secret.
I feel like if you read the back of the book, you would find that
Yeah.
out.
And then they call him Wolf. That was also another thing. Like his name is Wolf. I don't remember what you said there was something that like she called his or like compared his penis to. And I don't remember that.
It might have been another book. I swear there was like a book that I read that they like referred to his junk as like something. It must not have been that book. I'll have to look back through my Goodreads and try to like stimulate my brain because I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Maybe it was too. Maybe I missed it because I listened to a lot of it because I really couldn't pick it up. And I was bummed because I was excited about it. Like probably one of my like reads I was so excited for this summer. And then I'm reading the last book in the Stillhouse Lake series. I will finally shut up about this series to you guys. I feel like I've been talking about it forever. I really like the series and like think everyone should read it. The 5th book was like all right, but I'm really liking the 6th one and then it's over. And I think it's been like a really like solid series and it's on Kindle Unlimited.
Which ones have been your favorite? I think you said you love the first one.
Yeah, 1 and 4.
1 and 4.
4 has like a cult aspect to it, so of course I was like, but it's just really well done and it's been like really fun to read this summer. Oh, I just started on audiobook because I finished This Summer Will Be Different. I started Remarkably Bright Creatures.
Are you liking it so far?
Yeah, I am. I'm like maybe like a few chapters in, but I'm interested and I'm like, I think that I want to remember what your like top 5 reads are, but I feel like I potentially like have read them all after this one. I'm like sure your like favorite reads ever have changed a little bit after this year.
Oh, did we post that on BRBT?
Yes, what you said. Oh, The Nightingale, Remarkably Bright Creatures, Project Hail Mary, Educated, and The Five-Star Weekend. So
Yeah.
Remarkably Bright Creatures is the last one that I haven't read on there. So then I will have read at least those top five for you.
That's so cute. Remarkably Bright Creatures, it takes a bit, give it a chance, but I
Yeah.
promise you it's worth it. I feel like there's a lot of like background that you have to get through, but it's like really good. And the way like everything comes together and
Yeah.
Marcellus. As soon as I saw your text pop up and it had the little octopus emoji, I was like,
You're like, it's time, it's happening.
jumping in.
It needed to
Wait,
happen.
where's
I've been
that?
wanting to read that one.
Okay, yours are The Great Alone, Recursion, The Five-Star Weekend, The Last Housewife, and The Grace Year. I haven't read The Last Housewife, but I want to.
Gave her back. I didn't even
Okay,
know we
what were
left.
we even talking about?
I have no idea. Before we
Yeah.
left, our reads, and then we
Yeah.
were gonna go into fall.
Yeah. So let's talk about
Oh,
some
you're,
books.
yeah.
Yeah. We're
Okay.
gonna go into some fall books that we read and enjoyed, and then also some fall books that we are looking forward to reading this fall season. Because as the seasons change, I feel like our taste in books change. We go from summery, beachy reads to like me personally, historical fiction, fantasy, witchy, cozy.
We were kind of talking before this about like fall reads. I don't have like a ton of books that I've read that are like necessarily like fall books, like that, you know, like you look at the cover and it like says something about like a pumpkin on it, or like it says something about a witch on it. Like, so I would love also your recs if you have them, because I'm gonna start making like a list of like books I really want to read this fall, because I'm trying to get into the fall spirit probably in the next couple weeks, because I'm like so sick of the heat and I want like cozy vibes. Fall is like lots of like thrillers, dipping my toes into fantasy, just kind of like stuff like that, that's not like obviously like beach reads, not as many like romances.
Sunday morning, drinking your pumpkin coffee under a blanket, windows are open, fall candle is lit, and you're just like reading Iron Flame. Like that's
Speaking
the
the
vibe.
language. Well, okay, so we're gonna start with 5 books that we've read that we'd recommend to maybe read this fall if you haven't read them. You guys know that we are not the fantasy girlies. Like there are other girls out there for you.
We're trying. We are trying.
We are
Please know
trying.
we are trying.
It's just so
It
hard.
hasn't
We
it
don't.
hasn't happened yet.
However, I read Fourth Wing last fall and I loved it. It's a perfect fall read. I think it's very approachable fantasy as well. As someone who also like really likes Game of Thrones, I really like the dragon aspect as well. And the dragons having like personality, like you get attached to them.
Glorious.
Yeah. Ryan was telling me about reading Fourth Wing. He's like, Arn and Arn and Arn. Like, he's like talking like that. And I'm like, who are you talking about? He's talking about the little gold dragon. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm like, I don't even remember her name.
And another good dip your toe into fantasy is Divine Rivals, Ruthless Vows, the duology. I feel like those are good like fall vibes as well, and very easy to digest fantasy. I believe they're technically like YA books, but I
Yeah.
didn't get a YA vibe from them. Like I didn't feel weird reading about like teenagers kissing.
No, it wasn't as YA as I think it could have been. I like, yeah. But like now that I think back on it, they are like 19, 18.
Yeah, I
People
mean
are
they're
so
going through some
immature.
shit. Yeah, they're going through some shit, so they're
They
like
were in war.
mature.
They have to be mature. There's no
Right.
choice.
You have no other choice. Going back to Game of Thrones, we're watching that right now. It's a rewatch for me, but it's Gavin's first time. He watched season one and then just like never continued. And we are one episode away from the Red Wedding. And there's just like so much like build up, and Gavin's like la 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 la, like has no idea what's about to happen. And I'm like, every episode we watch, I'm like,
Dude, that episode is so fucking crazy.
yeah. He's like,
Like,
I love Rob Stark, and I'm like, yeah, he's great.
he's really
Enjoy him
great.
while he lasts.
No, you can't get attached to any of those characters because they're like all gone after the Red
No.
Wedding.
It's horrible. And like
It's a bloodbath.
the Ramsay torturing Theon, like I have to like look away every time
Yeah.
because that part like really like rips at my heart. And like Sansa being married to Tyrion, and like there's just so many things. I'm like, it's so good. But like, oh, and like Daenerys is low key an actual psychopath. Like the fact that she just walks into any room and she's like, I'll take that. And then just like everyone gives her everything. I'm like, this she's actually insane and like really rude.
Yeah. You're like, why are we even like standing her at this point?
Yeah, like I know she has a cult following. Like people
Yeah.
love her. But yeah, that's just my hot take that she low-key kind of sucks. But getting back on track, Because we can just gab forever. A rec that is probably also on your list is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. It's a really cute read. I listened to, I would say, like 70% of it because I listened to it on while I was going on a really long drive, and I loved every second of it. It is a really cute vibe. It's House in the Cerulean Sea, but like in a different font. It's the same
Yeah.
vibe. And don't let the witchy aspect of it like scare you away or think it's like cringy. It's just very well done, magical realism,
Yeah.
heartwarming, found family happiness.
I was gonna say it's just like a really sweet read. Like I
Yeah.
think about that book all the time of just like how I really thought that book was gonna be like just a whatever read, like easy peasy, like not think much of it. And then I'm like, wait, is this like one of my favorite books of the year? I loved that book so
Yeah.
much.
It's like a hidden gem.
It is, and I feel like people don't think that it's gonna be good, and then they like are shocked by how good it is. I have an insane rec.
Okay. I'm scared.
I don't even know why I'm recommending this book because because it's so fucked up in some of like the spice scenes. However, I really did like the storyline of this book and it takes place in Colorado. So I'm going to recommend Credence by Penelope Douglas.
I swear sometimes I really never know what's going to come out of your mouth.
I was going through my books and I'm like, what kind of like could I throw a romance on there? And I was like, you know what? Credence kind of falls around the fall time. And that's a book that I don't really, I think I gave it 3 stars. I was entertained. There is like the spice is pretty crazy, like to the point that I finished the book and I was like, I don't really know how to rate this book because like it feels gross to rate it high, but I also like did like the story. I think it's actually an okay book.
I think I might read it soon. Our Geneva group was popping off earlier that nobody had, like, everyone's in a reading slump. And I feel like that's the kind of book you need to read when you're in a reading slump. Just something
Yeah.
so off the wall and, like, spicy, but, like, also a good storyline. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of hard to come by. A nice, wholesome recommendation.
Yeah, very wholesome.
Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. This is a
Love
good
it.
thriller, but it's like a ghosty thriller, like a haunted, spooky thriller. I read it, I think, 2 years ago, and I remember there were days when I was sitting here reading it and I was like looking over my shoulder scared. Like
Ooh.
it spooked me. If you watch The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix, it's very similar. I know a lot of people, Riley Sager books are hit or miss for certain people. Like
Yeah.
whatever books from him like you love, somebody else absolutely hates and vice versa. So if you read Home Before Dark and you didn't like it, I am sorry, but
Yeah.
I did, and it's just like a good witchy vibe.
Well, going off of that, which is perfect, is I put the only one left on here because I really liked that book. Brady did not like that book. It's the Riley Sager book from last year. You've probably seen it. It's like a cliffside with big red font on the front. You're in this like creepy house, like on the cliff sides of Maine the whole time, and you've got this like old woman who doesn't speak, and there's like mystery to her, and she's accused of like killing her family. So it's like a good thriller. It's spooky. The setting I think is like a good fall creepy vibe.
Yeah.
I really liked the book. I think I gave it like 4 stars, maybe 4.5. I can't remember. That was not like Brady's fave, but again, like I feel like what you said, like Riley Sager books are so like hit or miss for people. I feel like there's no
Yeah.
really like middle ground.
Truly. And that book I remember it being very eerie. So it is a good fall recommendation. I didn't really love it. I feel like it was kind of anticlimactic. Like I feel like once you read Pretty Girls, like every thriller book after that is just like it's like oh I'm like oh this was made for a 5-year-old. Like
You're like, I
no
already
one's
know
being
about this.
yeah, no one's
I
being
guess the
slashed.
twist.
Yeah, so that's the only reason why I didn't like it. It wasn't like a terrible book. I thought there would be like more
Yeah.
like more, just more. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, when you read Pretty Girls and if you like that type of thriller and like horror that happens, it's really hard because like other books, you're like, "Ugh, there's just not enough guts and gore for me, I guess.
Yeah, sorry. And then totally switching like genres. I read this book last year. I don't even really know why. It's called The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and it was really cute. She's also coming out with more. It's just going to be a series, so there's books for each season, I believe.
Oh,
The next one, I don't even want to like say it out loud. The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore
no.
is the next one that's coming out. But like in the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, there's a bookstore next door, and like she becomes friends with the woman who owns the bookstore. So now this one is going to be about her, And then there's one after it called The Christmas Tree Farm, which is coming out. And then there's one, it's called like The Strawberry Pancake Diner or something. The fact you're trying to keep a straight face right now, I appreciate you.
It feels like you're like telling me children's books right now.
Yeah. But the Pumpkin Spice Cafe was cute and I enjoyed it. And there is a little bit of spice in there. So it's not
Oh.
really like the cover is very innocent looking. We'll put screenshots
Yeah.
obviously on the screen, but it's very innocent looking. But there was some good tension and some spicy moments.
I honestly love when a book looks so unsuspecting on the front, and then there's like even a
Yes.
glimmer of spice where you're just like, okay, like kind of assumed this was going to be like way wholesome, and maybe none of that, and then you get a little something, something.
Yeah.
Okay, I put on here The Collective by Allison Galen. Have you heard of this book?
No. Looking it up.
Well, let me tell you about it from my Goodreads.
Please.
I rated it 5 stars, and I remember really
Oh,
liking
wow.
it.
Ooh, looks spooky.
And I read it, I think like 2 years ago, and it popped up when I was trying to find some fall books. And I'm like, this is like a creepy, and like the cover's like kind of spooky. And again, I really lean into thrillers in the fall.
I have one last fall-esque recommendation. Really never see anybody talk about it, but it's called The Golden Spoon, and this is basically a murder mystery that takes place on the set of the Great British Bake Off. So if you like that show, and for me that show like signifies fall and the holiday season.
Yeah.
It's like a murder mystery of, you know, people getting eliminated week after week and like who is the killer because one person ends up dead, and it's like it's quick, it's easy. It has like not great ratings on Goodreads, but like if you need just like a quick mindless kind of vibe, it's a good one. What is its rating?
3.49, 39,000 reviews.
That's not good.
It's not a good one. I have to remind myself too, like not every book is a 5 star, and I've recommended to all of you guys like my same 5 stars over and over and over that I want to like give you guys new recs, and sometimes those recs are 3 stars, and they might be a 5 star for you. So
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it.
I guess I have one more,
Okay.
which I know you really liked this book too, is The Quiet Tenant.
Yes.
Again, it's like a very fall book cover to me. Like it's like brownish orange. And I like this one because this is told in multiple perspectives. I think it's from like the woman that's captured by the guy, and then the actual criminal, whatever his name is, and then his daughter.
The actual criminal.
Words are hard for me right now.
Yeah.
But then I think that it's like his like 16-year-old daughter too. You get like her point of view, and it's about like the woman trying to escape. And I really liked this book. Again, I can recommend a lot of thrillers to you guys because I read a lot of them.
Again, different from anything I've read before because the guy was so normal. Like he literally was just like a stand-up neighbor, like just like a normal dude that happened to also keep a girl in his shed. Like very chill.
But, yeah, like honestly, kind of seems like a decent guy, and
Yeah.
he's not a good guy.
He makes me like look at every man I know who owns a shed and I'm like,
What's in that shed? No.
Yeah.
Do you ever like? I actually spiral about stuff like that. If I look at my neighbors for too long, I'm like, what are you up to?
I think that about like if you're ever driving and you pass like a really long stretch of woods, I'm like, there could be a body in there.
No, that's so scary.
Yeah,
Okay, well
insane.
now we're entering fall spooky time. I'm only going to be thinking about terrible, scary things. Yay.
Up until Halloween, I like September to October 31st, I'm like on edge all the time because I feel like nothing bad happens. Like I feel like if people are gonna like break into your house, like they're gonna do it around Halloween. Like that's just like a spooky activity.
Well, not even that, too. I still get thrown back into the time frame of the clowns, like in 2014, 15, in like fall. I think about that all the time because I was up at U of I during that. And I
Yeah.
remember like we never locked our front door. But then we started to lock our front door because I was like, I'm scared of these clowns because we'd be seeing them all around campus. They'd be standing in the woods because it's like a very like
Yeah.
wooded area. And I was like, so now I think about that as like in today's day and age, I'm like, what if the clowns come back? What if this is the year?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, you just like unlocked a memory. That was the wildest time. And it was like not just like it was all over the country. Like everyone had
everywhere.
creepy clowns in their town. Yeah.
Also, like, what? I don't know. It just like freaks me out because I'm like, they just are trying to scare you, but I'm like, but what if you're actually a bad person?
I think that's the thing. I think about the person who actually goes through the action of like standing there and putting on the costume and like putting on the mask to go and scare the living shit out of people. Like you are an evil person.
Yeah. Or
So like
like
who's to say you're not going to snatch me?
the people at like the haunted corn mazes and stuff too. I think about that all
You
the
are
time.
weird. You are so weird. Your machete could be real.
Yeah. And I feel like I do the opposite of being scared in those situations that I like heckle them And I'm like, oh, you think you'll scare me? But then I'm like, leave, and I'm like, I'm really nervous.
They're
What if
following me.
they-
They're in the trunk of my car.
I'm like, every check every seat before we leave and make
Yeah.
sure no one's back there.
Yeah. No, I 100%. My biggest fear in this world to this day, probably forever, is Michael Myers. And
That's so
I
sad because Halloween is like our favorite scary movie. It's so good.
I just I get like spooky even I get cold thinking about it. I can't. He never dies, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
And my neighbor next door, she is obsessed with Halloween and has a human, like life-size Michael Myers that she puts up outside and has it like peeking over like a fence. And it used to be on this side of the house, and I had to ask her to move it because I literally would not go outside at night. It would just stand there, and I know it's fake, but like I literally I she was outside one day and I was like, "You're gonna think I'm insane, but I am deathly afraid of Michael Myers. Like, can you please put this on the other side of your house?" And she has ever since.
That's so nice of her though to be like, yeah, of
Very
course.
nice.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
you're like, you can enjoy Halloween all you want, but can you not have that staring like directly at my house? Like, I'm freaked
yeah.
out. Do you like scary movies?
Like, I don't know.
I know you're not a big
Yes.
movie person, but like, do you like enjoy that around Halloween, like watching scary movies?
Yeah, like I would go to like a movie theater and watch a scary movie, but I feel like weird watching them in my own house. I don't know why. Like I'm always afraid like it's like an evil demon is
A
like
bad
is
omen.
yeah.
Yeah, you're, like letting that like energy into your home.
Yeah, which is like so silly. I know you guys like scary movies.
I think that that's fine. I feel like you don't have to watch them at home. I feel like that actually makes sense. I don't like to watch too many that are like demonic scary movies. Like those ones I'm like, okay, like I'm actually freaked out. But
Yeah.
yeah, we do like scary movies a lot. Like we'll generally make like a list of all the ones that we want to watch during the fall and try to get them all watched before Halloween because I don't want to watch them after
Yeah.
Halloween.
And there's so many good classics like that. Like even like Halloween the first one with Jamie Lee Curtis, like that is a classic
Yeah.
movie. But like the scenes of him just like standing by the sheet and then like the sheet moves and then he's gone, like
Yeah.
that haunts me to my core.
And the little like ding, like the
And
little
it's the
noise.
like do 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 do
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
Nope.
no.
I'm gonna
Okay,
spook
noted.
myself out.
You're like, I get we have to get Brady off the call. She's like,
Yeah,
I've
we're
gotta
done.
go.
Cut. We're done.
Okay, we're gonna talk about 5 books or so that we want to read during the fall time. Again, like some of them are like books that I honestly just have had on my TBR for a minute that I'm like I'm gonna read them this fall and I want to
Yeah.
share them. But like some of them also I feel like give a fall vibe. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like one we probably both have. There is going to be a sequel to the very secret society of irregular witches, and we're both very excited. It's called A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping.
I cannot
Um,
wait.
and I'm really excited about it. And the cover is adorable. Genuinely cannot wait to read it and get more from her.
Hmm.
Sengu Mandana, her writing is
So good. She just does such a good job with that type of genre. I don't know. I'm excited to read the second one. Does it come out like mid September, late September?
yeah, something like that.
Okay. I will be reading that probably like immediately because I want to read it this fall.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be a good in September, like a good intro to the fall vibes.
I put on Powerless, which is another like fantasy that I've had on my TBR like for a long time now. But now there's a sequel and then there's a third book coming out as well. I think that it's again YA fantasy, so that's going to be like hit or miss for me. If it's like Divine Rivals, I'll probably like it.
I feel like the good thing about YA fantasy is that it's not too complex. Like it's like, okay, let's like this is technically made for a teenager. So
Yeah.
like it's easy to digest fantasy, but like it's the young romance aspect that usually is like for us.
Yeah, I just want to be entertained without having to like overly think about like the world when it comes to fantasy. Like I just get a little bit overwhelmed when it comes to like the world buildings.
Kind of in that same ballpark, I have One Dark Window. Have you read that yet?
Mm-mm. No, but I've
Um,
heard a lot about it and I've heard that a lot of people love it.
Yeah, so kind of in the same vibe. I believe it's also a duology, might be three. I've seen it everywhere. I feel like a lot of people loved it. Oh yeah, so far there's only two. One
Okay.
Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. So, oh, a bunch of people that I'm friends with on Goodreads are currently reading it. A lot of you guys have read it and given it 4, 3, 5, 4, 5 stars. So,
Oh wow. A Kristen Hanna book on here and it's Magic Hour.
cute. Yes.
Have you read that one?
I haven't, but it always comes up on Audible. Check it out on Audible because I feel like
Okay.
it's free or super cheap.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what it's like on Kindle or anything like that, but I feel like it's like about a 6-year-old who like emerges from the woods and what? A child locked in a world of unimaginable fear. And I was like, just not be having to read you guys this. I
No,
hate like getting my information wrong.
no, you were trying to like summarize the summary.
But
Magical, but not like crazy magical,
yes,
right?
it seems like the little girl has like magical elements to her. I have no idea really like much more than that. It's from 2007, Kristen Hanna, so I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah.
But I'm like I kind of want to start like actually like making my way through more of like her books because I've really
Yeah.
only read I think like 3 or 4.
And if it's by her, you know it's well done. So
Yeah. And it has good like decent ratings. It's 4.17, which I'm like anything over a 4 is good on Goodreads.
that's a really good like that's like the threshold.
Yeah, I'm like if it's like a 3 point like what that Golden Spoon was like 3.4, it's like
Even if a thriller has like a 3.8, I'm like, I probably won't like it.
but sometimes there's some like really hidden gems in there. You got to
Yes.
take the risk and read those 300 pages.
Yes, maybe.
Maybe.
I have Lilac Girls. This is a World War II historical fiction that has been recommended to me so many times. And I feel like in the spring and summer, I take a step back from historical fiction just because it's more of like a dark, somber subject.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just a better vibe for the fall and the winter time. So excited to get back into more World War II historical fiction because there's just something about it.
Yeah, you don't want to sit on the beach and read stuff like that.
No.
It's just not the vibe. But like sitting on your couch, the sun's gone down early,
Yeah.
the chili's on the stove. I can't wait to make it chili.
Keep talking to me.
Your tea's brewing.
The chai candle is lit.
Yeah. You've got football noises on in the
Oh,
background.
yeah. Tony Romo is narrating the Monday Night Football game.
No, I literally cannot wait.
So excited.
It's gonna be so good. Okay, I have on here The Secret History. I even
Ooh.
put that as like one of our potential book of the month picks. I've really wanted to read this book. It's a little bit on the longer side, but it like is constantly popping up for me on like one of the books like you really need to read this book. It also is supposedly like a really good book club book. I don't know, but I will be reading this sometime this fall. That is is on my list.
Yeah, I've seen that cover everywhere. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like I feel like it's like a classic at this point. I don't know anything
Yeah.
about it. It's
Yeah.
like a book that like every like it has like cult followings. It's like one of those books that you would maybe read in school.
Just take a guess of what year this came out in.
1993.
92. Wow.
Oh,
Really
wow, that was
close.
a off
Good
the
job.
wall guess.
It's an older book, so I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna read that, or potentially you guys will pick it and we'll all read it together. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay, next up, I have the book Wayward.
Oh yeah, that's like I've seen that everywhere. Like the crow on the front, I think, or
Yep.
like a bird. Yeah.
Yep, I know nothing about it,
I was
but
just like, what is that book even about? Like it's on my TBR on Goodreads.
almost 200,000 ratings and a 4.07 star.
Okay.
I'm confused. I'm confused by the summary, so I'll just put that on the back.
Everyone do your own research.
I'm also laughing. Like I keep getting this notification. My mom mentioned me in a Facebook comment. She's going through and like commenting on that person's page and just
Oh,
like, this is a scam. This is a scam. This is a scam. Totally off topic.
No, that's so frustrating though.
It's all good.
An impersonator.
Who'd have thunk it?
You're so popular. You're being impersonated.
It's okay, everyone. Your turn.
Your turn. I have one here because it's literally in front of me. Is The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer.
Cute. Yeah.
Yeah. Really want to read that this fall. I loved The Wishing Game, and it looks kind of like mystical and magical. Hey, look at us. You're up.
Next up, I have a TJ Klune book called Wolf Song.
Okay.
And it's like, I feel like all of his books are that fantasy vibe where, like, you know, it's like fantasy meets the real world, almost like Harry Potter kind of vibes.
Yep.
I've had it on my list for a while. I think it's a pretty chunky book. And I believe I have it downloaded on my Kindle. The cover of it is just like in my mind.
I haven't even heard of that one, but I feel like I only like all I think about is like The House in the Cerulean Sea, Under the Whispering Door. Oh, and his new book comes out in September too.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. That's going to be
I
a
didn't
great
put
one.
that
I
on
mean,
here.
I remember we said this before, but like sitting back at like the beginning of the year when we made our 2024 like TBR list, like now we're at the point where all these books are starting to come out and it's wild.
I know, and I'm like, I don't have time for you.
Yeah, like the
gotta-
Sengu Mandana's new book, and then like TJ Klune. It's like I remember months ago we're like, oh my god, that's so far, and now it's like almost here.
Yeah. I know, we need to do like another book of like, or another video of like new releases. Because I feel like there's even
Yeah.
more that we couldn't even touch
Absolutely.
on that. I think that I saw Annabelle Monaghan post about it, and now it's like literally been a book that I just like want to read, and I feel like I'm gonna need like some lighthearted books in the fall, and it's called How to Age Disgracefully. Have you heard of this book?
I believe so. It has great ratings on Goodreads.
So it's like literally the first part of it says a senior citizens center and a daycare collide with a hilarious result in a new ensemble comedy. So it's like supposed to be like a funny book about like an older woman, and I'm very intrigued by it. And sometimes during the fall I just need like to break up some of the thrillers, and sometimes like just like the witchy books don't do it for me. Like I've told y'all before, but like I hated the X Hex, and I like put that in like my fall reading last year to be like, oh, this will be like a nice lighthearted witchy read, and then like I hated it. So I'm trying to also just like sprinkle in just some like fun, lighthearted romances, and if they aren't like completely fall setting, that's okay.
I feel like I have one in that category too. Sunlight by Devney Perry. It's the next one in the Crossroads series. It'd be a good one to, it comes out like September 25th or something. Just a good one
Okay.
to like break up the cadence of fall witchy vibes.
Yeah. Well, and also what? So is it what you read Coach or something by Devney Perry? Like football sports romances during the fall like hit different too. And like I feel like I need to like maybe do some research on some like romances that fall under that. Like I need to read like about like an NFL player or something. Like
Yeah.
I
You
love
would probably like that series then because Coach is about an ex NFL player turned coach. And
love
like I think he's like almost 40. And
hot.
like I'm pretty sure like I'm imagined a gray-haired DILF and like done.
I'm into
Done.
that more
Yeah.
than an 18-year-old fuckboy.
Yeah.
We'll have to get back together soon because it's just better when we're together.
Agreed. The vibes are just
Just
unmatched.
different. They're a little more unhinged. It's easier. I'm gonna hang up on this and then look around my house and be like, I'm alone.
Yeah, it's depressing.
Yeah, it's a little sad.
Yeah.
But anyways, we love you
Yay.
guys. If you have any like recs for fall books as well, like please comment them because we want to like
Yes.
thinking maybe well, side note, it'd be fun to maybe put out like even like a Canva thing for like our Patreon or something of like these are fall books that we should read and just like a master list of things.
Yeah. Or
Or
like
like a
fall
Google
books
Doc.
from our fall books from our Patreon members or something,
Yeah.
like a graphic for the feed.
Yeah, I think that'd be really fun. Please comment any fall book recs. We'd love to hear them. And if you have any ideas for videos that we should do in the upcoming months, let us know. But we love you
Yeah.
guys. See
Bye.
you next time.